Nerd Soul.
Lay Ill Kid at OneYoungsta. Here we go in the gaming world of the FGC. We have EVO going down. All right. Now we got what I would call a seasoned vet to come in and break down what's going on in the drama side of that. I have to give it to the winningest person in the PlayStation DNF dual community and the number whatever deity, like 3, 4, something. I don't know. He big. All right, he doing his thing. I gotta give it to Open Mind. What's up?
What's up, NERDSoul family? How y'all feeling?
Yo,
Great.
man.
It's a great time to be a fighting game person, isn't it?
Yo, we chilling, man. We got Tekken 8 popping. We got Street Fighter 6 on the way. We got even indie stuff like Corrupt bubbling up. We got I forgot there's another fighter that you shared with me that has a brand new update. And I can't remember the name of it, but that's dope too. So we out here, we about to eat. I heard Grand Blue Fantasy Versus or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They getting some updates.
It was King of Fighters 13. They getting rollback.
Oh yeah, King of Fighters, they getting some love, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, y'all out here living.
The fighting game community has a lot to be thankful for this year and going forward. Yeah, we coming through we busting through the gaming world and like, yo, we here too. You feel me?
I'm saying y'all out there, y'all living.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, there's a little bit of how should we say drama in those FGC streets. Now you put me up onto this. Punk once again stirring the pot. And I don't know, he don't know how to do nothing else but do it. But he tweeted today, he was at EVO, and he tweeted today saying that and I'll try to fix some stuff. I'll read it normally and try to fix some stuff and see what I think he's saying.
Yeah, like
Twitter doesn't really let you edit stuff. Well, I think if you pay for Blue, but
it's no edit button. And then if you're typing very emotional, that stuff won't come out crazy. So
yeah.
So yeah, go ahead.
So he says, I spend over $2,000 with my back hurts on a 16-hour flight to come to this tournament. I have every right to feel how I feel when my loss is not in my control. All week I've been nice, even with my Strive winners final pool match delayed 4 hours. I say nothing, but this is unacceptable. So I'm assuming he means his over $2,000 with his back pain on a 16-hour flight.
No. 2,000 was the flight. The back pain was separate.
Okay. All right, cool. So basically, he's like, look, I spent a whole lot of money. All right, I spent a whole lot to come down here to a tournament that ain't running right.
No, go ahead. No, I was just saying, flight and hotel combined about 2.
Okay, so flight and hotel combined, all this, a lot of money. Tournament ain't running right now. Since this seems to come out of nowhere, because I was looking through his tweets, it seems like he has a bunch of pictures hanging out with people and stuff. He talked a little trash about Strive, and then all of a sudden this comes out of nowhere. He did talk about a laggy match on something, but then all of a sudden you just get this kind of paragraph. Well, not paragraph, but it's a kind of like a run-on sentence, if you will. I'm gonna give it over to the analyst. If you could break down what's going on, because we have some other tweets that I want to dive into as well that kind of like follow along. But I want to get your take on this, my young brother.
Well, I'll say this: he's right and wrong at the same time in that tweet. Now,
all right.
I remember when he tweeted about his back. This was before this tournament started. He landed in Japan. He posted some pictures. I'm landed. I'm here. Happy to see everybody. Took a few pictures. And he tweeted from his hotel room how his back was feeling. And he might have to go see a chiropractor. So we kind of all showed him sympathy and love, myself included. I retweeted like, you know what I'm saying? You got to have a strong back if you're going to have a strong finish. You know, it's unfortunate that his back was hurting before the tournament started. Now, that's legitimate. He was complaining about his back hurting before he even got called to play. He had arrived in Japan. I don't know what happened on that flight, but he got off that flight with his tailbone, where his back was killing him, right? It was just hurting to the point where he couldn't even sleep. Like, he was up at 3 a.m. in the morning talking about how his back hurt and he can't sleep. Man, I might need to see a chiropractor, blah, blah, blah. And all of us, I was, like I said, I was on the thread. I saw it, retweeted it, you know what I'm saying? Just give it positive vibes, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't hating. A lot of us wasn't. Nobody was really hating or even trolling. Everybody was showing him love. Yeah. He was talking about his back hurt.
Because health is wealth and health comes first.
So for in that regard, I'd say he's right. He has a point that, like I said, and there were a few trolls in the thread. I take that back to say, he's already getting his excuses ready in case he loses. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I thought that was kind of mean spirited, even for Punk. I know Punk is a villain and all that, but the man did say he was having some back issues. He didn't go into depth. He just said something about getting off the plane and wake up in a hotel room, his back hurt. And you in Japan, so it's not like he can go see a doctor. And
it's not like you got insurance. Right. I don't think Blue Cross or Anthem covers.
So I don't know his money situation or what type of connections he have. I don't know if he went to go even see about his back. He didn't give us any details on that, which I'm sure he probably wouldn't, because that's kind of medical. That's kind of personal. Yeah. You don't owe a video game community an explanation of whether or not you went to go see a doctor about your back, right? We don't need to know all of that. So in that regard, that's a legitimate reason for probably not playing, because I know when I sit in my video game chair, bro, like I got like pillows in my video game chair. Like, I sit on a pillow and then I put pillows on my back.
Yeah, you need like that lumbar support or whatever.
Yeah, like even them video game chairs are comfortable in their own right, but if you sit in them for too long, your back starts getting numb and you start feeling pain. It's like, it's just there. So you got to have some type of lumbar support other than the chair itself. Even if it is curved for you, you still need some cushion back there, because you want your back to be as straight as possible and you want to be as comfortable. So, because all of that stuff ties into arthritis and carpal tunnel, sitting there playing a video game, right? This is not me making excuses for Punk. This is real. Before we get into his actual excuse, which is an excuse, this particular one about his back, that's why I say he's right and wrong. I'm giving him, I'll give him the back stuff, because he was talking about that before he even got his first match, before he even went to warm-ups. He was in his hotel room, just landed, went straight to the hotel room. Well, not straight to the hotel room. Of course, he went through the city to hang out with people and show his face and take pictures. But he wasn't playing no game. After the day was over, he went back to the room and was up all night complaining about his back, to then have to get up the next day, not having any sleep, to go fight in this tournament. So that's a legitimate issue right there that I'll give him. I'm not even the trolls are going to be what they are, but I'm a fair person when I hold people accountable, including Punk and LTG and all the rest of them, Sonic Soul, all the rest of them. I'm only going to hold you accountable for this thing or that thing. I'm not going to encompass all of it in one thing because I'm a troll. No, I understand. I play video games sitting in a chair myself, and I have to get up and stretch and pop my back and bend backwards, and you got to. You can't sit there.
And see, we also don't know if Punk, and this is not me making fun of his size or stature or whatever, but we also don't know if Punk works out, specifically targeting his back, exercises that and stretches and stuff. We don't know, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I guess what I said, I'm gonna go ahead and give him that, because even if there was an issue, the man, if you look at his timeline and the dates and the time of the tweets, he was talking about his back before he picked the controller up.
Yep.
He had just got his suitcases off the plane and was walking around the city, taking pictures, hanging out, going to places to eat, and just enjoying the sights before he started his tournament. So, and this was Friday, right? Today's Sunday. This was Friday when he was doing it. So it's everything is, as far as his back situation, the back portion of the tweet, that part is, he can have that, not even going to give him nothing. But the issue he was complaining about was the monitor. The same excuse he's been given at every tournament he goes in.
All right, now hold on, because I didn't see. All right, so he tweeted about that. Then he has another tweet basically saying, "I'm sorry to all Japanese fans. It isn't your fault, only tournament fault. I would love to have played my best, win or lose, but sadly I can't from this not in my control, from things not in my control. It was fun, and I love meeting everyone and taking pictures and talking. I won't ever forget how kind you all are. And then someone comes in and says they can confirm that matches were delayed way too long, but I don't see anyone chiming in and talking about like a particular monitor. You know what I'm saying?
But that was the thing he was fussing about as far as he made them. Okay, this is what he did, and you got to go to his threads. You can go to the threads and find it. It might not be on this particular thread because he have a series of tweets.
But because I saw like 3 or 4 tweets that I pulled out, and like 2 of them that I read to you, and then the last one that I saw says, "I complain a lot, which I know and understand why people hate me, and to me, I don't care. I want what's best for everyone at tournaments who spend $1,000+ to play at a tournament. So if you think I just make excuses, that's fine. I'll keep doing it if there's a problem." So, but I didn't see, anything about a monitor, but that's probably stuffed in a thread somewhere that, because I was like, all right, I know he was mad about something, but I didn't see exactly what he was mad about.
Well, I seen it. I didn't have a screenshot of it. Like I said, you got to dig for it. But what happened was, when he sat down to play, he was complaining about a specific monitor. He didn't say what the monitor was doing. He didn't like the monitor that they gave him, right? He didn't like it. When he showed up to play, he was like, no, I don't want to play on this monitor, blah, blah, blah.
Oh,
so what happened was, the tournament people stopped the tournament, shut it down. And
they stopped the whole tournament for that?
Stopped the whole tournament for him. And it took them 45 minutes to replace this monitor. They had to go get one. And they had to hook it up and stuff and test it out and play it. Like the process of switching those monitors out took 45 minutes. Then he got sat down to play and lost 3-0. He got 3-0. You see what I'm saying? So that's where everybody's giving them crap about. It's like, okay, you got what you asked for. The tournament people accommodated you as best as they could in the spur of the heat of the moment, because they were no more prepared for you to lash out as you were. So so you're unhappy with the setup. Okay, that's not, you're not allowed to be unhappy. It's just that the fact that they did the best they could, they didn't come prepared for you to be mad, because you're the only person complaining about a monitor. Everybody else was cool.
Yeah, because there's of course for anybody listening, there's tons of tweets, and this is all from today, which is April 2nd, and I'm trying to like read through them, and of course, I see a couple of people agreeing. Like there's a tweet that says, "For what I can tell you, a lot of other players were complaining about the setups, and like you said, you were the only one willing to speak up on it." So
maybe so that's the thread I was reading about, how nobody was. The thread I read was that he was the only one complaining about his monitor. But
yeah,
that's the thing.
And see, that's the thing. Like, okay, if everyone's playing on the same monitors, then everyone is on the same playing field. So if
they're dealing with
everyone,
the same issues you're dealing with,
they're dealing with the same issues or non-issues that you're dealing with, and if they aren't complaining, then I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you can say, oh, they hated it too, but they just didn't say nothing. It's like, well, then how do we know they hated it? How do you know they hated it? You know what I'm saying? And if
none of them spoke out and said,
if that's the case, how is the tournament supposed to know that y'all hated it? Now, at the same time, we don't even know what setup this tournament was using. Now, of course, this is EVO. I'm assuming they're using top quality stuff, but we just had EVO last year, and you had Rob and everyone else talk about they ain't had no money. So, maybe, you know what I'm saying? Maybe they were using old monitors, but how bad could the monitors be? It's not like they were using monitors from like that booted up with like Windows 98 or something. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know. But without other corroborating stories, the only thing we have to go from is Punk. Now, maybe it's a situation like we said, hey, Punk is like, I'm the only one who's going to speak for it because I want top quality stuff. And everybody else was like, we'll just take what we can get, which goes back to what we were talking about months ago with the whole EVO money situation, saying like, well, y'all need to get together and say, we ain't having this. We ain't showing up. Or unionize in some type of way. But you can't be the only one complaining and everybody else is winning, and then you complain and you losing, it doesn't really look like it's the monitor, my dude.
I can see if you won and you complain, but you lost. So it's hard to take you seriously. And you lost 3-0.
Also, he kind of has. I hate to take a brother down. He kind of has a history in it. He's a habitual loss complainer. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah.
It's like he'll lose and there'll be all kinds of reasons.
It's hard for me to, outside of his back, I sympathize with Punk about his back. That part, I'm not gonna troll him. I'm not gonna make jokes or even
that back
make
stuff
light
is serious, bro.
Because and I'm saying this because he was speaking about his back before he touched the controller. So Punk, if you're listening, because I know I ain't gonna say if you're listening, Punk, you listening because Punk ain't forgot about that butt whooping I put on that he made excuses for, right? We could go back to when I fought Punk on Dragon Ball Z. What did he do? The same thing he's doing right now. That's
he made excuses.
Me. He clout chasing. That's not me. It's an old man. Go, like blah 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 excuses. So at the end of the day, it was you. Because you were at that time trying to practice and play Dragon Ball Z, so you was on the scene running around with your little characters, picking different characters, playing Dragon Ball Z in casual modes, in the modes that don't affect your rank, which is the mode I was fighting him in. It wasn't rank mode. Of course he would jump into that mode because, hey, if I lose these fights and nobody knows me anyway, unless they're paying attention to the name Punky, well then it doesn't affect his numbers. So it's you, Punk. It was you. But anyway, using that for example, this is what you do. This is what you do. So let's say his back wasn't hurting at them other losses that he took previously, right? Previously, there was no back issues. There was no health issues. Nothing wrong with your health. Just the monitor situation, or this guy was stalling out between rematches, or whatever excuse he can pull out of his behind to say as to why he lost, instead of just him just not winning, his inability to close out. This is what you do. You make excuses. One of the biggest excuse makers, and this doesn't diminish his skill, right? Well,
because he's got skills.
I would never diminish his skill and say, you don't belong, but you lost, right? You got to take the other Japanese players who lost as well, because only one person's gonna win. Where are their tweets at about the excuses they made? They just took their L. Thanks for that.
Yeah, they'd be like, man,
I
they
had
got
fun. If you go to their tweet, you got to press translate tweet. The other Japanese players who play, they're tweeting in Japanese, right? Go find their names right now if you're listening. The ones who lost, Bon Chan, for example, Bon Chan lost. He tweeted, good games to everybody who, fortunate. Sorry I lost. Sorry to my fans. I didn't close out, but I did my best and try again. Like Bon Chan was all positive about he took his loss like a man, and it was nothing salty about it, right? Nothing about the monitors. You know what I'm saying? There was he lost and he didn't come on Twitter and say, F the EVO, F all of y'all, F this, F that. F you, F your couch. Like he didn't do all that. He didn't do that. Bon Chan did not do that. I'm talking about Saget. Bon Chan Saget. He didn't do that. He took the L.
He was just like, all right, man, you got me. What can I do?
So I mean, I don't know what we're supposed to. I don't know how we're supposed to feel about Punk losing. Like, are we supposed to feel sorry for the guy? Because I feel sorry for his back hurting. But that's where it stops. I'm gonna draw my line right there at his back hurt, because that was legitimate. I'm not at all. I know you listening. I'm not at all dismissing your back pain, but I'm dismissing everything else. Everything else I'm dismissing. I'm not. I don't care. You lost. Right? You lost. And now I want to speak on something real quick before we switch gears. You said something about $2,000, right? I want to make emphasis on this because I'm no longer arguing with people about my DNF dual progress, but I still kind of get these remarks. Tournament. What tournaments have you won? Tournament. Mind you, my wife saw these tweets about Punk too, and she was laughing herself because my wife remembers Punk. far as the Dragon Ball Z fight.
Yeah.
She saw his tweet about him spending $2,000. She's like, wait a minute. That man spent $2,000 to go to Japan to play a video game.
Yes, let's break down the real world. Bring down the real world implications.
Yeah,
of going to a tournament.
What my wife said publicly. I want to go ahead.
People, the same people that talk all this mess ain't got 2 nickels to rub together, but then want to tell you to go spend, let's say, $400 or $500 on a hotel. All right, cool. Let's be honest. You don't want to stay in a hotel where they're shooting crack in the next room. So you're going to pay at least $200 a night. Okay, well, the tournament is a 3-day tournament. That's $600 right there. Cool. Right. Now, that's it at the very least. That means I want to sleep somewhere where, hey, at least they vacuumed in the lobby today. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I ain't even talking about staying somewhere fly, like the Hyatt or something. I'm just talking about regular, say like Holiday Inn Express, like a regular kind of like solid, decent, you know what I'm saying? Your car won't get stolen, hopefully, that kind of thing. So, all right, $200 a night, 3-day event. Guess what? That's $600. You ain't ate no food yet. All right. Guess what? You got to eat. Let's say you spend $20 a day. Okay, $660. Okay. Yeah. Now you got to fly there. Oh, guess what? A round trip. Most round trips are going to be at the very least the cheapest of the cheap, like some JetBlue stuff. A round trip is going to run you about $200. Guess what? Now you up at $860, my dude. Guess what? You ain't done none of the other particulars. Say you gotta bring your own, your own soap or your own this because say you got your own particular stuff that you got to bring. Guess what? That's more money too. Oh, you didn't get the expensive ticket, so you got to pay to check your bag. Most bag check fees are $50. Now we're at $910. So please miss me with this, like, oh, you got to go to the tournament. No, you don't. We got the internet. It's supposed to connect us, man. That's the whole purpose. And that's inside this country. We ain't even talk about going to Japan or Europe or Colombia or something. I don't know where, going to Taiwan or something. I don't know. We didn't even talk about them other flights. International. Come on, man. Stop it. Get out of here. To play a video game, and they talking about the top prize. I can see if the top prize was like $5 million, but come on, man, out of here with that.
Even if it doesn't matter how much the top prize is. I'm gonna tell you what my wife said, because like I said, she read the tweet. When I saw the tweet, my phone was sitting up, and you know why they always messing with stuff, right? So she was reading the tweet because she know the name Punk, not because she wants to know, but because of what happened with me and Punk.
Yeah.
Is that the same guy that you beat up on? I said, yeah, baby, that's him. He said, wait a minute, let me see that phone. $2,000. He said, wait a minute, did he spend $2,000 to fly all the way to Japan to play a video game? That don't make no sense. I said,
and lose.
She said, and he lost. Oh, head. And listen. So so that was her reaction. So let me explain to the public her reaction. This is the reality of guys like myself and many other guys who are very good at fighting games, whatever game it is. DNF Duel happens to be my game, but everybody has their game. Those of us got real lives, real wives, real women, whether you're girlfriend or wife, doesn't matter. Don't have to be a ring all the time. It could just be your girl that you love and y'all live together, right? Y'all got kids together, whatever y'all situation. You got a budget money. You got an income coming in, both of y'all, if not one of y'all. And the income that's coming in is already divvied out to where it needs to go. Light bill, cell phone bill, water bill, cable bill, rent, car note, gas, food, whatever those expenses are. That check is spent before it gets to the house. And if there's any left over, you best believe girlfriend and wifey finna go spend that on her little trinkets, whatever those things are. Those things that she don't need but like to do. Because the bills are paid. We got, how much money we got left over? I'm finna go shopping, baby. We finna go this. I'm finna go do that. Right? What I don't have is in other words, she was saying from this perspective, let's say you did have all the bills paid up and you got $2,000 to spend. What you not finna do is spend it on a plane to go to Japan to play no video game that I see you playing on this couch every day. I don't mind you sitting there on the couch and playing it because you right here in the house. I can see your face. You ain't in the streets running around cheating on me. But what you not finna do is spend our money and go to nowhere, Japan. I don't care. You ain't finna fly to California to go play no because we pay $150 a month like cable bill, internet bill. I can't. I wish you would pay. And she was just sitting there, just rambling to herself, reading his tweet. Just imagine she's not really talking to you.
Because it's true when you start thinking of what you can do with $2,000. And that's why. And this is no diss to people that are competing.
It's not a diss.
But this is what we mean by real lives. Have a real life, bruh. Anyone who's got a real life with real obligations, not responsibility, obligations. Like obligations. Obligated to people. You ain't got $2,000 to just throw around. Not unless you come from rich people. If your parents
think about it,
if you come from the family of Johnson & Johnson or Pfizer or something like that, then cool. But most regular people walking around ain't got $2,000 just to throw away on basically opportunity. Come on, man.
That's what I mean about tournament bias. The bias is the people who I would say dumb enough, because if you're a single person and you don't have no obligation, obviously you would be able to blow 2,000 and you don't have to answer to no one but yourself.
Yeah.
But that's the bias. A tournament can only consist of those types of individuals who's living that lifestyle. So then it's not predicated off of skill. It's predicated off of a person who doesn't have a woman, a wife, or any children, or any type of obligations that would frown upon them spending 1,000, 500, 2,000, 3,000, however much money you spent to travel to participate in the tournament, whether it's inside the U.S. or outside the U.S. The cost in and of itself doesn't matter. We're using 2,000 because that's the number he gave. She and my wife's perspective, right? This is her perspective. You and I have a perspective. Most gamers have their own perspective. They got their frame data minds, and you trash, you make excuses. Those people, okay, but let's take a person who's on the outside looking in, but also inside because we live together. Watching me play these video games, watching me have the desire to compete in a tournament, but the requirement isn't your skill, it's your bank account, your availability. So if that's the requirement, then automatically by default, and I know y'all hate to hear this, but I'm gonna say it, it's biased, because my skill should be the requirement, but it's not, because I'm very skillful, but I'm unavailable, and I'm not even allowed to spend that money to participate. Now, if it's $5, $10, she won't even know I'm doing that because she's not thinking about it in those terms. If I spend $5 or $10 to enter somebody's YouTube tournament that they running real quick, join the Discord, it's a $5 entry fee or $10 entry fee, something like that, she doesn't care about. She's not giving me crap about that. But she would give me divorce papers if I spent what Punk spent to go to Japan. I'm telling you.
Here's what should happen. FGC, I know y'all don't want to hear this, but trust me, it's best for everybody and it opens it up for everybody. When they do a tournament, they should do it nationally now, in every nation. And every state should have a location that is strictly hardwired fiber connection. And you drive to that. Oh yeah, no Wi-Fi. You drive straight to that place in your state, and then you can play. So you don't have to drive or you don't have to fly to California. No, they went to their data center in California. You went to your data center in Iowa, in Maine,
wherever you at,
in Kentucky, wherever you're at, and then you can sit down and play at the 244 hertz, 8K screen with the fastest fastest PC connection and all that. And then you can play that. And guess what? You didn't have to fly across the country. You had to drive, say, if you do it central to every state, or at least around central to every state, the furthest you had to drive is maybe 100 miles. That's a lot easier.
Yeah,
a lot easier. That's for you to drive 200 miles. It's probably maybe like one tank of gas. That's a lot cheaper than a hotel room and flying and all. That's what they should do. And then everybody, and then, well, maybe not everybody, but more people can play, and we can really see who's better, because right now you're only seeing people that have $2,000 to spend.
Yeah, and it's not just Punk; it's the rest of them. But I'll do you one better. I want to take what you just said, and I'm gonna give you a better one. How about do none of those things? Sit right there on your couch and log in hardwired and play. And with all this technology, right now we're on the Zoom, we're recording. Yep. We could both press a button to put our cameras on. We're just choosing not to, so that because we need to not have our faces here, so that you can create the background that y'all see right now, the background that you see behind us with our voices over it. The reason you don't see our faces is because we need the screen to be blank when we record, so that we can give y'all the background that y'all see. Right. But with the technology we have, the requirement should be Ethernet cord. Some people say, well, I ain't set up Ethernet. My modem is only across my house. I play upstairs.
And see, that's why I said make a data center, because I know there's some people that's going to try to have an excuse where it's like, okay, well, can you, your daddy, your baby mama drive you 50 miles to the data center, and then we ain't got to worry about Xfinity, we ain't got to worry about Cox Cable, we ain't got to worry about Verizon, we ain't got to worry about because this place has because they're, I don't know, say you could do it at most colleges have straight fiber, like straight dedicated fiber. Now you can do it at a college. You come there, you play, and then you go home. And guess what? You only spent, say, a full tank of gas, depending on where you live. I know it's tough in California, but depending on where you live, maybe about $50. It's a lot cheaper than $2,000.
But they won't have a data center in every major city like that, because that requires a lot of either community effort, or some type of GoFundMe, or somebody to invest in something like that.
But I figure they could get one per state. I figure they could get one per state, and then then at least we can open it up to more people. Maybe not everybody can, because California is a big state, so is Texas. So those would be tough. But people in like maybe Pennsylvania, that's doable. You know what I'm saying?
But that's a financial endeavor that I don't think a lot of places are going to take when they have internet, where people can just sit down and play on the internet. So here's the caveat to internet. There's the possibility of lag. I understand that. I deal with lag switchers all the time.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to do the data center, to try to remove that excuse.
But because of the way billionaires think, and people who would invest in that type of commercial real estate, because that would be commercial real estate.
True.
For something like that to go down in any state, they got to get the land, they got to buy the situation, they got to get it built. There's a lot of things that will go into the data center that has nothing to do with gaming at all.
Yeah.
Everything to do with
they'd be like, hold up, so we're doing all this so y'all can play some games?
Right. There has to be some profit margin there, and people, and so there would be an entry fee, because they got to recoup this money, just like Elon Musk trying to recoup his 44th billion by charging people for Twitter Blue. They got to recoup the money. So I'm saying that's why that's a good idea, but it's unrealistic with the advent of internet and rollback and Ethernet cords. People are just choosing Wi-Fi, and I understand people say, "Well, my setup, I play my game upstairs. My Wi-Fi modem is downstairs or across the room, or it's just I'm not going to run a cord that long across the house like that." I've been in certain apartments, townhouses, or houses that the cable hookup, wherever the internet is coming from, is in a very awkward spot. I understand that. I know how layouts are inside home, but even I'm still Ethernet cord plugged in. I made a way, right? I got cords running all through my house, but we got floor mats, so nobody trips over the cord. We got carpet, so I got the cords running under the floor mats, under the couch, under the table. So I got clumsy kids that'll trip over these cords, so I have them. I got little electrical black tape wrapped around the Ethernet cord so they don't chafe and start to peel off, and the wires are poking out. It is my intention, no matter where I live, how my layout is set up, to play online with Ethernet cord. I don't care how awkward my setup is. I would
Man,
rather have it.
if it's awkward, spend a little bit of money, have the serviceman come and put you in a new outlet.
Put you in a new outlet. It's there's ways now. That's money you could invest in your own home setup. That would be a fraction of the cost for you to get on a plane and fly to see somebody to it because internet. Because internet's lag, and I'm doing, we need to fight offline. I don't care what no one says. Offline is the best.
I think we could do it. I think we could do it state by state until we get the best people in the state. Then maybe gather them on a regional, maybe have them play on a regional. The only time y'all need to like meet each other is when we like say maybe national. Maybe national. Maybe when y'all get like say like all the people in Virginia could play each other from home. Then everybody in the region can probably play each other from home. Then, okay, I will understand. All right, y'all done beat the region. Now y'all gonna talk about signal traveling from, okay, fine. So then y'all can take the one person from New England, which would be like, I don't know, Maine, Connecticut, New York, I don't know, those states. Then the people from DMV area, then the people from like I guess the sort of South, but not deep South, and then the people from the South. Then they can actually meet. All right, but we don't have to be in the same room all the time. Come on, man. We got the internet now. That's what it was made for.
You got AT&T fiber. You got all these different. DirecTV got high-speed internet. Verizon got high-speed internet. Pick your poison. There's a company out here that's got high-speed internet. You pay for the one that you can afford to pay for, right? And that's that. And mind you, I got 4 grown kids in the youngest kid in my house is 13. Everybody got a tablet. I'm talking about the tablet of the if it's a Apple tablet or an Android tablet, it's the big screen tablet. They all walk around here like little Marvin the Martians with their little space modulators. You know what I'm saying? They all got tablets. And they all using the Wi-Fi. So I have to use the Ethernet cord or I will inevitably be a laggy person. People will be complaining about me lagging if I wasn't on Ethernet. But because so many people are connected to this one modem in my house, including my wife, who works from home, and her office setup uses the most of the speed, still doesn't affect me. But because she's hardwired, we got the multi-plug modem that you can plug multiple Ethernet cords in there. So she got her own individual cord going to her, and we're not sharing it like that. We're just sharing the modem. But the kids are on the Wi-Fi. So I'm saying most people who game are sharing that Wi-Fi connection with other people who are in that house who are not gaming, but are on their phones, on their other devices that are also connected to that Wi-Fi. That slows down the bandwidth and makes you lag. You need as much bandwidth as possible. If you can just separate yourself from the Wi-Fi connection and go hardwire in, you won't affect them and they won't affect you, those people that are also using that same modem in your house. This is basic internet stuff that everybody should know, but everybody doesn't know. People will just connect their PlayStations or their Xboxes or their PCs to the Wi-Fi in the house. And as long as I can log in and play, hey, I don't care if I'm lagging or not. I'm online. But listen, you're lagging because you're on a Wi-Fi connection and you need bandwidth to play a game online. You can play on a Wi-Fi connection. Sometimes you'll get some smooth connections. Sometimes you won't. But it's too many hit or misses. When you got an Ethernet cord, the only time you're going to lag is when you're playing somebody who's on Wi-Fi.
And I mean, the organizer can say, hey, everyone who plays has to have, 1 gig, internet or something like that. And then set the standard. Everybody gets it. Everybody's happy. You do the speed test. They come in. If any match ever lags, then they stop them, and then you can essentially stop the match, and have a TO play each player separately. Whoever lags, they're disqualified, and then keep moving on. Because I know someone's going to lie and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm wired in," and then when they start playing, be Wi-Fi and be like, "Nah, you disqualified, bro." I mean,
Here's the
spend $2,000, y'all. Like,
here's the part I didn't get to. This is back to me advocating for internet tournaments where nobody has to spend any money traveling. Take a picture of your setup or go live on a camera. We can see that it's not some picture you pulled off of Google and sent it to us. there's a way for you to give us a live feed of you. If you don't want to show your face, that's fine. Turn your camera around on your phone, aim it at the setup that you have. Walk around your room or your space that you in. Let us see the back of your PlayStation or the back of your Xbox or the back of your PC tower. We want to see them plugged. Is there an Ethernet cord? And follow that Ethernet cord all the way to your modem so we can see it plugged in. Then turn off your phone.
You could do that.
And then go back to, sit back in your station. All right, I'm ready. Don't just do a speed test. Do a speed test as well as a photo video test. All right, everybody logged in? Okay, all right, we're going to do a speed test. Check everybody's connection. All right, this connection good, this connection good. All right, everybody cut your cameras on and then go live real quick on your phone. Just turn your camera on real quick. You don't have to show your faces. We want to see your setup. We want to see the modem. We want to see your PlayStation setup. We want to see any gadgets you got plugged in your little personal space that we would normally see if you wasn't in this tournament. Like, there's a way with the technology that we have today in 2023 to prove your gaming station that you have set up at your home or wherever that is, so that you can go online and participate and compete in an online tournament with Ethernet wired being the requirement. Wi-Fi's are not allowed. So we can fight each other on Wi-Fi and rank match and custom match and whatever and have fun. But if we're gonna play for money, if it's a requirement, y'all so biased with y'all little favorite people, well, let's create a new bias. The requirement for a tournament going forward should be Ethernet cord. And then you get on a video and show us your setup. Show us how your modem and your game and your TV. I want to see the back of that joint, the back of your TV, the back of your PlayStation, and your modem setup. And I want to see the Ethernet cord plugged into the back. That way, turn your camera off and let's go. Let's get the tournament going. There's a way to do things, because if I'm traveling on a plane, it's going to take me 4 hours to get there. It's going to take me 4 minutes to show you my setup.
Yeah.
You feel me?
And then you open the tournament up to more people, which makes the tournament better.
First of all,
you got more people there. You got a deeper pool.
We wouldn't be talking about Punk and Idom and a lot of the names that we keep talking about if more people had access. This is because tournaments are about access. It's not about skill. Not that those guys aren't skillful. Not that Punk and Idom and the rest of them aren't skillful.
It's just that they're not the only ones.
In fact, there's people in this world that will give all of them, including IDOM, a run for their money, if not take the money, if they had access. Now, I'm not talking about myself. I'm just saying there's a lot of people who play fighting games who are godlike, but they just don't have access to the tournament. For example,
I'm sure there's some killers, and not only because people love always talk about North America. I'm pretty sure there's some killers, in Argentina, or there's some killers in Jamaica somewhere where it's like, hold up, I ain't never seen nobody playing like that. Or there's some killers, in South Africa or Taiwan or somewhere in the Philippines or something. Somebody like got mad skills and you just never seen them play before because they ain't got $2,000 to drop.
Speaking of Jamaica, there is a killer in Jamaica. His name is Milo Mads, and he's the #1 deity on DNF Duel who uses Ghostblade. He lives in Jamaica, doesn't participate and compete in no tournaments, but been sitting at the top since the game started almost. 3 months after the game came out, he made it to the top and he sat there and he's still sitting there. So yeah, him and Calamity Hero or Calamity Jane, whatever that dude is that uses launcher, they both kind of battling back and forth for the #1 spot. But Milo is right there on his behind. But he just got there where Milo been there at the #1 spot. But Milo Mads does not compete in online tournaments or EVO tournaments or Tampa Never Sleeps or none of these tournaments.
Yeah.
He lives. I don't know why. It's not like he told me why. But I would assume, because I know this about Milo, he is married with children. I know that much because he told me that much in his inbox. He does have a wife and he has kids and he lives with his wife and he lives in Jamaica. So without him going into his personal life, I can assume that Milo has a wife like mine that's not playing that BS. You can sit there and play your little video game all you want, babe. But what you're not going to do is spend our hard-earned money traveling to America to show them guys that you can beat them when right here it clearly already beat them #1. So I'm sure Milo Mad's wife, which he kind of told me this one time we was fighting. I ran into him in ranked, and we ran like a 5 or 6 set. I think I won 2 out of 3. He got me 3 times, so I got him twice. But one particular time I didn't rematch him because I had to go. My wife had called me, said, "Babe, come here, I need you." And it was in the middle of a rematch where I beat him, but I didn't rematch him. I kind of one and done him because she called me. And I came in and helped her carry something heavy, and I came back and I inboxed him. I was like, "Yo, man, I'm sorry about that, bro. I had to go. My wife called me to do something." He said, "No problem, man. I know what you mean. My wife do me like that all the time. I be playing and she'll call me in the middle of a match." And so we actually had a little moment in the inbox. This was some months back. This was last year, actually. It was some months back. And he was just so without him going into too much depth, that little bit of inbox conversation we had on the PlayStation told me enough to fill in some blanks. Milo Mads, who's the #1 deity in DNF Duel. Now, I got the most wins, but he's still the #1 deity and the #1 Ghost Blade on PlayStation. Does not compete in tournaments, but probably would destroy all of them. So the people who win in these tournaments, these DNF Duel tournaments, are only winning because Milo Mads is not participating. Because I'm not participating. You feel me? Because it's like, I'm the #4 deity. But I got 5,500 wins, about to be 6K. I'm still holding down the #1 wins record. But #4 deity, and I'm about to be the #3 deity.
Well, that must take a long time since you won. That must take a long time since you won and done everybody.
I ain't even tripping on them. I'm just, but the issue that they have with the tournament, they ain't even on the one and done. They like, "Oh, you ain't won no tournaments." It's like, yo, and I'm probably not gonna win none if y'all keep running them joints on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Run them joints on Saturday and Sunday. I'll participate. I might not win the first go round, but I'm gonna participate enough. I'm gonna get a dub. I'm gonna walk away with that little $200 funky dollars that y'all put as the prize, because it's $200, $150. Yeah, that's it, bro. That's all. That's the prize. $200, $150, $50, $75.
That's like that's like if I ran a tournament. I'm thinking they got money.
They ain't got no money. Pay out these. They ain't paying nobody. I think the most somebody won online DNF Duel tournament was $400. That's the most. Did
they ever see that money? Because you know how that go too.
I don't know. I assume they did because they keep participating. So I'm assuming they did. But I'm saying like the people who are participating in any whatever game it is. DNF Duel is an example right now. Street Fighter with Pump, that's an example right now. We could talk about any game. Tekken, KOF, Guilty Gear Strive, Dragon Ball Z. Listen, you name a game, the people who are winning are only winning because of the people who didn't participate. And it's not that they didn't participate because they sucked or they were scared or they were irresponsible. They chose or they had other obligations and responsibilities that were more important than participating and competing in this video game tournament where everybody, even the winner, has a slight chance of winning. Even the guy who won and took the gold home still had a slight chance of winning because everybody in there is good. But it doesn't mean that nobody else is just as good as they are.
Yeah.
Because what do they say? What do they call it? Top 8. So there's 8 people on planet Earth. Planet Earth, bro. You talk about the globe, the planet that floats in space and spins around the sun, the star we call the sun. Only 8 humans are gonna compete. Okay, well, fine. The person who won amongst those 8 people is the winner, but even that person is not the best in the whole world planet because other people didn't participate. That includes Punk and Ilam and Daigo and Tokido and Banchan and Goichi and everybody else who keep winning, participating, and winning. You're winning because of the people who aren't participating, whose life is not set up to allow them to participate. But if something was to, like, let's say I had a situation where I could fly to Japan and I wouldn't lose my wife by doing so. I would get on that plane and fly to Japan. I'm talking about me. The game I would play would be DNF Duel. But I would get, not that I'm asking her to do it, because I'm not gonna, it's not a discussion in our home where it's like, babe, can I please spend $2,000 so I can go? Yeah. No, that's not what it is. I'm saying hypothetically, if my situation was different and me going to Japan wouldn't put my relationship in jeopardy, I would go to Japan. I would go to California. I would go to Florida, and I would go these places, even though I disagree vehemently with having to go. and we can just sit down and play online. I would still do it to prove everybody who's telling me that I ain't the number one hitman for real. To show them that not only am I number one hitman, I done already beat these people that I'm finna fight in this tournament. I beat them sitting on my couch, so why can't I beat them in a tournament? Because my nerves ain't gonna be bad. I just need to get there. I'm not nervous and jittery when it comes to tournaments. Me, I can fight if it's a crowd of people yelling, screaming behind me, or if it's a quiet space. I'm not nervous like that. I'm not afraid of losing in front of people or competing in front of people as far as a video game is concerned. The reason I say I'm not afraid is because I came up in an arcade era. I'm 40 years old. When you go into an arcade, there's 50 quarters lined up on that arcade screen, and there's like 30 people surrounding that one machine. There's 2 stools, and then you sit on the stool, and whoever's next, and you keep winning and losing, and whoever put their quarter up is next. But as you fight, you're fighting in front of a crowd. So, and they're yelling and screaming and cheering, oh, he got you, I got next. You're in an arcade in a public space. There's 30 guys surrounded by a Street Fighter 2 machine, or a Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat 3 machine, or you name the fighting game. They had an arcade machine for it back in the 90s. They had it there, and if you put your quarter up, it's always packed. Grown men, teenagers, and kids. I'm telling you, grown men, teenagers, and kids are surrounded by this MK11 machine, Street Fighter 2 machine, Virtual Fighter 1. It was Virtual Fighter, Street Fighter, and Mortal Kombat were the main attractions in most arcades in my 90s that I grew up in. And it's a crowd in there. It's packed up in that joint. It's 100 people jam-packed like sardines inside of a arcade. Whether they run in a tournament or they just there to play, you go put your quarter up and you set it right there on that screen, and you next, and everybody's quarters just piling up like you playing what's that game Polinka on
man, I can't think of it, but yeah,
they just stacking them coins up, and they just stack up, and everybody kind of is respectful. Nobody's just stealing quarters, but what you just indicating that you got next. So you see the coins lined up, you don't put your coin in front, you put it in the back. So the person who's next grabs the coin in the front, and everybody know whose coin is which. Or it doesn't matter. If you lost, you got to get up anyway.
Yeah.
So you don't get to determine who plays next if you lost, because if you lost, you got to get up. The person who know that they next gonna grab their coin that was sitting up in front. I'm
no rematch
playing in front of a crowd. Now I know everybody won and done in an arcade. That's why where my mentality comes from. Like, I'm old school with it. Ain't no rematch if there's a crowd of people in an arcade that wants that turn. So rematch came into play because of online matches. But I don't have to rematch you if I don't want to. And me not rematching, there's a million reasons why. You can't say, well, he didn't rematch today because he didn't want to. You have no idea why I won and done you. I'm not explaining that to you on a microphone mid-fight. We just went to a rematch screen, and you saw me click decline, and then it took you back to the lobby. And then it's like, you don't know why. I don't even know why, because every day is different for me. I can't go back. Even if somebody clipped me, one and dunning them, I beat Open Mind and he didn't rematch me. Look at this. And they got the clip up. Even I can't tell you why I didn't want and done that. Why I didn't rematch that person. Because I don't know what day that happened, when it happened. People save clips and don't put them out for a couple of days, couple of weeks. Who's to say why or when or what happened? I have no idea. Don't come asking me, why did you rage quit? Why did you run and done? Why didn't you finish the fight? I have no idea. Because I don't remember what was happening in that moment for me. I don't keep track of it like that. Y'all keep track of it. I don't. And nor am I going to. In other words, get over yourselves. It's a video game, and who cares? Who cares? Stop being so emotional about what people do online, and you don't have no understanding or explanation. All you saw was them decline the fight or not rematch or whatever, disconnect, whatever happened. You don't know. You don't know.
You know how it
no
is.
Sound. Yeah.
You know
but
how
that's
it
me
is.
and you being mature adults and understanding life versus the video.
True that.